Let me ask you a slightly uncomfortable question. Have you ever opened a code base and said to yourself, wow, this looks impressive? And 5 minutes later, when you have to add one line, you say to yourself, why do I need a PhD in order to just add one more line to this code? If you have been there, this video is for you. Because today we're going to talk about when design patterns don't make your code better. By the end of this video, you'll know when design patterns actually help, when they hurt readability and productivity, and one simple question that you should always ask before using any pattern. This would save you from writing the code that looks smart, but it's horrible to work with. Design patterns are sold to us as best practices. Singleton, factory, observer, strategy. It feels like learning secret techniques from senior engineers. So, naturally, once we learn them, we want to use them more and more everywhere. Login feature, pattern. Sending an email, pattern. Reading a config value, you might need three interfaces for it. And that's where things start to go wrong. Let me tell you a story. You join a project. You need to change a simple business rule. Sounds easy, right? You open the file, that class calls an interface. That interface has three implementations. One of them is a factory, and the factory is created by a builder, and the builder is injected by the container. All to change one one if statement. So here's the first big idea. Design patterns are not goals. They are tools. A hammer is great unless you're trying to screw in a bolt. Patterns exist to solve specific problems. Too many conditionals, unstable dependencies, complex object creation. But when the problem doesn't exist yet, the pattern becomes the problem. The most common problem that I see everywhere is this designing for a future that never arrives. I'm sure you hear things like, what if we need more implementations later? What if we need to scale? What if the requirements change? And suddenly a simple class turns into a framework. Another thing is that every abstraction has a cost. More files, more indirection, more mental load. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most code is read more than it is extended. So if your code is technically flexible and practically unreadable, yeah, I'm sorry, you have lost. Junior developers usually ask, which pattern can I use here? Whereas senior developers would ask, do I need a pattern at all? And this question alone can reduce half of your abstractions. So, good design usually looks boring at first. A few classes, clear names, straightforward flow. Then, only when the pain appears, you introduce a pattern to remove the pain. Not before, not just in case, just after the problem is real. Here's a simple rule that you can use starting today. Before adding a design pattern, ask yourself, what specific problem does it solve now? If you can't answer that clearly, don't add the pattern yet. Simple code that evolves is better than complex code that waits. Design patterns don't make you a better developer. Knowing when to use them does. Write code for humans first, refactor when the reality demands it. And remember, boring code is often the most professional code. If this helped you think differently about design, like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care, keep coding. Peace.